Hey there, David Bentley here from Zero Zen Design, and I'm going to answer your question. Is SEO based on the use of rankings based on keywords? If so, then how do you use keywords when Matt Cutts is saying that the meta keywords tag has no importance? So let me clarify something really quick. Keywords or the content of your pages is different than meta keywords. Okay, so meta keywords actually are not visible as Matt was saying. It's something that sort of ends up in the code of the page, and it's something that if you add it or don't add it, it's not going to make a difference these days. Now, what does matter is really this: if I do a Google search um, or I click a link in social media or something like that, or I end up on a page of your website and I spend a considerable amount of time on that page, then whatever that page is ranking for in Google, okay, should theoretically rank higher than the person that is ranked above you if they consistently get a lower dwell time and people spending less time on that page. And here's what I mean by this. If I go into Google right now and I type in best recipe for um, meatloaf, okay, and I go to this one right here and I click it, and I look at it and then I immediately click the back button, okay, and then I go down some more and I click on this one. And on this one, I spend 2 or 3 minutes going through this recipe. And if this is consistent from visitor to visitor, in other words, uh, the link to consistently has lower time on that page, and this website consistently has higher time on this page, then Google will eventually, the idea at least, is Google will eventually move uh, this post or this page higher in the rankings. Okay, because Google is in the business of showing the best result for those searches. All right. Now, obviously, there are some things that come into play. So, for example, location is gonna be a factor on blog posts and things like that. Generally, articles and stuff are universal or not really held to one geographic area. But service pages and things like that are going to be different. Okay. Now, here's my secret for writing content so that Google likes it. What I do is I open up a free tool called wordcounttools.com. All right, and I've actually already got some stuff in here that I had been writing about. And what I do is I go through and I write my content. Okay. Now, one of the secrets to writing content is you want to write content so that it just doesn't have a bunch of keywords stuffed into it. Um, you also want to write content to be very, very, very conversational because that's how Google reads things now. That's how Google knows that we talk in conversation. We don't talk in this very, I don't know, kingly business voice that a lot of people write their service pages in. Okay, so write it very conversationally. One of the best or two of the best resources for this are going to be a website called backlinko.com. This is Brian Dean. And if you go down to his blog, the way that he writes his content is a really good example, okay, of how to write good content. Lots of spacing, lots of good imagery, things like that. Now, obviously, this isn't a service page. This is a blog post, but your service pages, you want to try to keep very conversational as well if you're writing for a business, okay? Um, the next thing that you want to do with your content is you want to make sure that you are including search terms that are going to be relevant to what you want to be found for. There's a couple ways that you can do this, and one of the very interesting ways that I've sort of explored recently and looking for free options is, let's say I want to write a post about or I have an article or a service page, and the service that I offer is accounting. Okay, so I'm just going to put accounting. That's my top level service. All right. Now, if you just try to write an article on accounting, chances are there's going to be, hundreds of thousands of uh, people searching for accounting every month. But if you're just doing small business accounting, those hundreds of thousands don't really even matter to you. It's really only going to be about 5,000 searches that matter for you in your specific area that you service. Okay, now you can do this with blog posts as well. Then the next thing that I like to do is actually go to images. And a lot of people haven't really caught on to this yet, but Google is sort of already creating categories and additional keywords or search terms that you can use to try to rank for the main subject that you want to rank for. Okay, so for example, business, finance, bookkeeping, management, professional, balance sheet. These are all words that you should be writing down when you're planning to write an article or you're planning to create that service page copy. All right. Um, so for example, small business. So small business accounting is actually what I want to write about. Okay, that's one of the services I offer. Small business accounting. Okay, so now you can take it a step further, and you see we have bookkeeping, software, Excel, QuickBooks, Easy, tax. So all of these words are things, if they make sense, of course, all of these things are going to be words that you want to make sure that you're including within the content of that article or of that service page copy. And by doing that, Google already has an idea what small business accounting is about. They're showing us right here by how they categorized images. Okay, so if you essentially follow what Google is already showing us when you're writing your content, then you're going to have well-written content. Now, if you write, let's say it's a service page and you only write 200 words on there, well, really, how many of these additional keywords or long tail keywords or associated keywords are you going to be able to get in there if you have 250 words without it looking spammy? Okay, so the name of the game is you have to create content that is good content, and you want to create a good amount of content. Now, going back over to word count tools, how I do this for service page copy is I do 250 words as an intro. And within that intro, I'm going to identify with the visitor, then tell them why we are the best at it. Okay. So when you're identifying with the visitor, you're really tapping into psychology. Accounting, if I do small business accounting, then the first section of that 250 words, I want to talk about how small business accounting can be time consuming, trying to make sure that you're getting the right tax write-offs for your business, can cost you thousands of dollars a year if you miss them. So you're identifying with that person, and when they read it, they should be shaking their head saying, yes, yes, yes. These are all the things that I'm worried about. Then you flip the script. We offer small business accounting so that business owners don't even have to think about it. Okay, so this is me flipping the script and saying, hey, this is why we do what we do. And then I'm going to have some additional information about why we are the best. We've been doing it for this many years. We've got over this many clients. Things that are going to add to your clout. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to have 250 words on one of the sub-subjects that we offer. So we saw back here, we have bookkeeping. Well, that's one of the things that I do, okay? Bookkeeping. So that's one of the things I'm going to write about, okay? So now I'm going to go down, and again, you're going to follow this similar type of format, right? Identify with the visitor, tell them why you're the best at bookkeeping. And it might be your process, it might be how you do things, it might be it's part of your pro accounting package, which 90% of your clients sign up for. Regular bookkeeping we do regular bookkeeping weekly so that we don't get behind. You wanna try to instill some sort of trust and security and what it is that you're offering. And then we're gonna do 250 words on another thing, and finally 250 words on a final subject. Okay. So now what I have is I have a total of 1,000 words or close to it of content. Okay. And within that 1,000 words, I've been using all kinds of additional and associated keywords or long tail keywords as well. Okay. Now you can always go if you're not quite sure what you need to be including for bookkeeping, just type it in up here. Small business bookkeeping. Okay. Self-employed, balance sheet, expense, monthly, personal, budget, all of this stuff can tie into that 250 words. And remember, you don't want to spam it. You don't want it to be, the balance sheet is great for expenses and monthly personal budgets and da-da-da. That's way too much. You want to keep it really, really natural, just as if you sat somebody down across from you at the table and you're talking to them. And again, you can do this for a blog post as well. So if I'm going to write a blog post on email marketing, then I'm going to find start finding some terms, and maybe I want to use this to sort of narrow it down as well. So I could do, well, maybe I just want to write about specifically mobile email marketing. Okay. So I can start using these words to figure out what I'm going to have as headings, what I'm going to have within the copy itself as keywords and associated keywords, and then you start building out the architecture for that post. Okay. Now your posts, people expect them to be a little bit longer. I just wrote a post recently on our website, and I think it came out to a little over 4,000 words right here. Okay, so you got a nice mix of imagery as well as headings. And then what I do on my posts is, because these articles do tend to be really long, is I have sections. So process, DIY site builder cost, pro website design service cost, website platforms explained, and making a decision. So now if we go down, we see that I've broken all these down. And of course you can click on one of these and it'll take you straight there. It's always nice if you can to create some sort of an infographic to go along with your posts. You can do that very easily over at canva.com. But you also want to remember that your content just needs to be engaging and people are going to need to read it. That's how you end up getting people to stay longer. Once people stay longer for the thing that you're trying to rank for, then Google is going to start to understand that this article is a good search result. Okay, so you'll rank higher and higher and higher and higher until obviously you get to the point to where your article is just as good as the people above you, and then you got to be a little bit more creative with some internal linking or some external linking to your website to help boost that even further. So hopefully this answer helped out a little bit. I know I went into depth with some other things as well. And if you have any questions, visit me over at zerozendesign.com, or you can also respond back as a comment. Thanks.